in our backyard today. It's just too nice to not be outside. We got me a new phone. The one I had, well, it was a $35 phone. We bought it when, I don't know, it was at a point when there was a big run on them at Walmart. And we've been using the Straight Talks, not sponsored. Anyway, so we took it back in, and I asked her, I said, I need a different phone. I said, I'll pay a lot more. This is just, it wouldn't even keep a charge at all. So then I bought this. I don't remember how much I paid for it. It was 150. But it has been so much better. Sometimes it'll stay charged with me doing things with it for, well, it has been for a couple of days. Anyway, we've been kind of going through stuff. I don't mean physical stuff, I mean family stuff. And it's just been over the last several weeks, there's just been some rough times. So we just, a little prayer would help, or positive thoughts. Otherwise, I will continue to be positive, and we will continue to, and Joe's going to continue to scratch at every little bit of paint. More stories. You guys like the stories. You wanted more stories. Oh, let's see. Do you have a story about Janie?
Yeah.
She's the sister-in-law we just lost.
Okay. My brother used to work out at the dump when Wymore had a dump. And he had this old, I think it was a 55 Chevy, 4-door. Didn't have no windows in it.
What?
So I'm in the back, and Dave's in the back, Janie's in the front.
Oh, you mean there was no glass in the windows? I thought.
And Monty's driving, and we're going through. We're out there at the dump in this tall grass and weeds and stuff.
Oh, gee.
And Monty, he's driving crazy anyway. And Janie's got her hands up on the roof in case we flip over or something. And the weeds, when you hit the weeds, they'd fly back in your face. And I was back seat just giggling my head off. And then he goes backwards. Then we start getting all the weeds coming up through the back window. And yeah, it was funny.
It sounds like he was having the laugh. His brother was a race driver.
Stock car driver.
Yeah, stock car driver. And his sons took it up after he retired from it, and he was helping him. Okay.
But he quit driving.
Oh yeah. And then his son started driving. You were telling me something about Dave the other day.
No, he was mean.
Fireworks.
My little brother and I, we'd have these little lady fingers, and we're trying to light it. And he'll throw a firecracker down there by your feet and scare the heck out of you. And next thing you know, you got this little laser finger blowing off in your finger because you forget that.
Let's understand, this was many, many years ago.
Yeah.
All the stuff about the danger of course, everybody knew that they could hurt. But when you got a house full of boys, and was your mom ever out there, or did she just decide to let you go and not worry about it?
Just let us do it. We'd be out there shooting firecrackers. And he had toy toy soldiers that he'd throw firecrackers. He'd, stack them up or whatever. He'd throw firecrackers and
Blow 'em up.
Blow 'em up.
I want to make this straight, okay? Dave, as an adult, is a sweetheart. But I've heard the stories of when they were younger. And he's how many years older than you?
5.
5 years older than Joe. So if you can imagine. And their mother was raising the three of them. Yeah, because Monty was out by the time his parents divorced. But his father had been on the road a lot, even when they were married. He was a truck driver. Anyway, so she's raising pretty much these boys by herself. Now, I don't blame her for ducking and just duck and cover and...
I'll tell you a story that it may sound kind of silly, but
Silly's good.
Dave was 16 at the time, and my Uncle Norm, he passed away when he was 55. He had prostate cancer. That was back in the 90s. But anyway,
Long before he passed away.
we lived close to the river at the time. We'd walk across the field and went fishing down there at the river. And it was Norm, Dave, me, and my little brother. We went down there. And we'd been down there for about an hour, and clouds started moving in, and it's getting kind of windy a little bit. And it looked like it was going to rain, and so we decided we'd go ahead and, well, Norm, I don't know what the deal was.
The mosquitoes are getting out.
But he had string tied around his big toe out in the water.
Fishing with the big toe.
And a fishing pole. And he says, I'm going to stay a little bit, because we decided we was going to head on back because it looked like it was going to storm. So we started walking back, and we get to our yard, and we see this guy out in the street. Looks like he's got a top hat on and a cane. He's tapping the
Pavement.
the pavement while he's walking. It's like, who in the heck are you? So we go in the house. Next thing we know, he's going behind a bush looking at us. And now by that time, we were starting to get kind of scared. It's like, who is this guy? Then you'd hear this rattling, tapping on the windows around the house. We was scared. I mean, I was 11, Dave was 16, Russ was 9. But Dave, he gets the .410 shotgun out.
Oh, no.
He loads it. And he hears this tapping on the window in the kitchen. And he points, and here's Norm's head looking through the window at us, laughing at us. But Dave had pulled the trigger, but he didn't cock it, which is a good thing. Thank God he didn't cock it.
No kidding.
And Norm comes in the house. He says, "Oh, that thing ain't loaded anyway." And Dave says, "The heck it ain't." And he ejects the shell out. And Norm's eyes got big, and his mouth dropped open, and he about got his head blown off. Man, that was a scary.
So that would have been
night.
back in the 60s. Right?
Let's see, early 60s, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was 11, so it'd be about 67,
Yeah.
1967.
Now, there's some things I only find
But-
out
but
when...
the top hat was his can of worms sitting on his head, and the cane was his fishing pole. He was
Did he ever catch a fish with his toe?
no. Oh, I found a bat. Did I tell you that?
Where?
Inside my garage, I'm hanging on the door. 4th of July evening when it was raining.
No, you didn't tell me. He found a bat in the garage.
And
Did he dive bomb you?
no, he was stuck to the door, inside of the door.
Was he alive?
Well, I took my little grabber and I grabbed him. And he was kind of sticking his wings, to the wood. But I took
Well,
him
they do
outside
have-
and let him loose, or turn
Yeah.
him loose.
They do have claws on their wings.
But I never seen a bat do that before. I never had one in the garage before. But no, 4th of July evening when it was raining, I come out, saw him on there. I thought, what
Yeah.
the heck?
Well, you remember when Tony and Connie had one in their attic down there in Axtell.
Oh, yeah.
We went to this church. It was affiliated with the church I grew up with. And so we'd go there, but they were, the building was old, and they just never really, I don't know if they finally upgraded it or what, but they were still using outhouses. And I don't mean the green porta pots they got now. I mean the old one made out of wood. And I found a bat in there one time. And it did brush my hair a little, but I was kind of screaming.
When we was
I don't know how old I was.
when we was kids, our neighbors had bats coming out of their chimney, and we'd spray water at them, and they'd dive bomb you.
Oh. You know that they
There's some evenings this church over here will have 50 to 100 of them come out and fly around.
well, yeah, they come out in the dark usually. Huh. They probably don't use their bell tower anymore. Is it a bell tower or a chimney?
Looks like
Could
a
be
chim-
either one.
Looks like a chimney to me, but they
It
said
probably is.
that Dwayne says they come out of the cracks in the bricks and stuff.
Well, some can be pretty small. Well, we got some bats in our belfries and chimneys around here. Oh, yeah. Stories are so fun. And it's good that we can kind of look back. Even though we've lost some of these people recently, we can look back and have a good laugh at some of the fun things that we've done or had with them. These are Joe's stories tonight. Believe me, there were 6 of us kids, so there was a few. But I'm messing with my thingamabob here. I'm going to break it pretty soon.
You're gonna break it.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. They're not tall tales. They are true stories, as far as I know. And knowing these guys, oh yeah.
But when you're driving through weeds at 40 mile an hour, them weeds are just,
Oh, I can imagine.
Oh.
I grew up on a farm.
I don't know what kind of weed they are, but they got these like little cones with I don't know, beads.
Milkweed type stuff.
Well, there was that stuff too. I mean, just man, it just stuff would come flying in there. It's in your hair, and I'm just giggling my head off.
I can imagine. Now, how old were you
Skips.
then? I think you said 16 or something. I
I
don't
was
know.
11.
You were 11. Okay.
Yeah, 11 or 12, something like that.
You guys, Janie said you guys were still pretty young when they got married, so.
Well, I was 11 when they got married. Monty and Janie got married. But Dave, let's see. Well, this would be in the set. This would be around 1970, because that's when Dave worked at the dump.
We love all of you. Hope you've enjoyed some stories, and we will talk to you another day. I'm going to try and get back into some drawing and artwork. I'm thinking of doing the first couple or 3 verses of Genesis and comparing them to the Gospel of John, chapter 1. So if that's something that you guys would like to see me either sketch out or paint in some way, just let me know. Love you. That's different. Smile and wait. There's yours. And good night.